Last year my dad and my brother were at my house while my mom was at the store. I was in my room and I started to hear some strange sounds. I didn't think much of it, but then the noises got louder. I decided to go see what it was. The noise was coming from my parents' room. I walked in and saw my dad and my brother having sex. I was disgusted. I started screaming. My dad and brother started to freak out. I then told my mom when she got home and she kicked my dad out of the house. I'm still mortified to this day. One time I was in the basement my friend who was a girl in like first grade and she showed me her cat, and I was confused because I was a boy and I thought everyone had dongs. So I thought I had a defect and started freaking out. So I took a knife and started to cut my sack off and it was very bloody, and my mom walked down on me and freaked out and took me to the hospital, and I had to get surgery. But it went wrong and now I can no longer have kids. And I don't talk to that girl anymore, lol. Okay, so I was doing some videos, and California has been having a heat wave and it was like 101 degrees and my stomach started to hurt really bad, so in the car I fell asleep to horrible pain in my stomach that felt like knives, and this is what happened. My mom saw a car in flames and wanted to show me, so she said my name a few times to wake up, but I didn't wake up. Now I always get up right away, so she was very worried and was now yelling. She pulled over and was literally shaking me, but I never woke up. Then while she was shaking me she saw I stopped breathing for like 4 seconds, and in those 4 seconds I saw like white static and it was terrifying. But then we went to the hospital and I had to get an IV for the first time. And they took so much blood and they basically said I wasn't eating enough. Which like I eat more than anything else, so I was like the fuck. And that I wasn't drinking enough water. And earlier I had fell and slightly hit my head too. They think it had something to do with that too. But it was so scary, lol. One time I was at my aunt's house and I was playing with my cousin and she said she had something to show me. She was 6 at the time and I was 8. So we were in her playroom and it smelled kinda bad, but I didn't say anything. So she showed me her Barbie house and there was 3 piles of shit in it. I was so grossed out and said I was gonna tell her mom. So this girl grabs a knife and tells me she'll hurt me if I tell. So I was scared about that. Then we went to sleep in her room and I woke up on her and she was about to drop a weight on my head. So I woke up and went into my aunt's room and told her everything, and when my cousin walked in she started clawing at me. So my aunt saw everything and had me picked up and they had to take my cousin to a special doctor and they found out there's something wrong her. Okay, so one day my mom and me were on the subway and I was on my phone, when this guy walks on and has this plastic bag filled with something heavy looking. So this guy on the train ended up calling 911 because he was suspicious and the police were there at the next stop. They stopped him and they checked the bag and found a fucking human head in there, and that's when my mom told me to walk the heck away. I've been traumatized to ride the subway since then and it's literally so creepy. One time I went hiking with this boy from school. I didn't want to go, but this man wouldn't shut the fuck up and kept asking. He picked the hottest time of the day to go to. Fucking dumbass. It was over 100 degrees. I was well hydrated and I had eaten that day, but apparently he had not been drinking water or anything. How stupid can you be? Anyways, we got to a muddy part of the hike and I guess he was trying to impress me, because he said to hop on his back and he'd give me a piggyback ride across so I didn't get my shoes dirty. I guess he couldn't handle my thick, fat, juicy and voluptuous ass because his legs started shaking and he fell down. I thought it was maybe because I have a fat ass and he couldn't handle it, but turns out he was really weak, so I had to call an ambulance. Don't worry, he was okay. We laugh about it now. Thank you for your submission. One day in class we had a substitute and everyone knew the substitute for being the rudest, and we had a test that same day. So when the substitute left the class for about 2 minutes, everyone started throwing paper and pencils everywhere. And once the substitute came back in class, someone stood on the desk and yelled, "We hate you," and threw a chair at the substitute. The kid got suspended for 2 weeks and no one has ever seen the substitute since. Chile. Anyways, thanks for the submission. Submit more stories, y'all. Middle of my freshman year in high school, during my last period the teachers wouldn't let anyone leave their classes. It was like a shutdown and I wanted to text my mom cause she gets worried, so I asked the teacher if I could and the dumb bitch said no, so I did it anyways cause she doesn't own my phone. Hour later I got home and did the usual. Next day we found out a junior stabbed a office worker for not giving him ice. Girl, what the fuckity fuck, I hope he's in jail, but y'all better submit more stories, I'm running out. In 10th grade during lunch the mean popular girl started to walk up to me and my friends and grabbed my muffin and threw it in my face to impress the new kid. I went off on that dumb bitch because I wanted to eat the motherfucking muffin. I dragged that bitch across the lunchroom and we fought and I accidentally broke her nose. Haha, dumb bitch, that's what you get for wasting my fucking muffin. And I dated the new kid, so who's the bad bitch now? Brittany. Period. Sis, go off. Hey y'all, I'm back. Here's a story that was submitted a few days ago. One time when my family and I were at the water park. Me, my brother and my cousin were standing in line for one of the rides. Anyways, I ended up getting a really bad stomach ache while waiting in line. I farted and a bunch of shit flew out of my bathing suit and it was running down my leg, and the park ended up closing that ride for the rest of the day because my shit was all over the steps and the ride. Girl, that was probably very embarrassing. I would have killed myself and moved to Mars till the earth goes extinct. Once when I was younger, I saw this fake acrylic nail on the road and decided to take it home and wear it, but I didn't have any glue, so I got this really strong super glue and stuck it on my nail bed, and it started burning and some went onto my skin. And it started bleeding, but I thought it was normal. Then I put the nail on and continued to go about with my day until my mom saw it, and long story short, I had to go to hospital to take it off, and now I don't have a nail on my index finger. Chile, what the fuck? One day I was in 8th grade and I had a huge crush on this drug dealer boy, and I would catch him staring sometimes, so I thought he felt the same way. One day in class, he passed me a note and asked me to be his girlfriend, and with no hesitation I said yes. He told me to meet him behind the gym after school, and I again said yes. When I got to the gym, him and his friends were there and they blindfolded me and told me to suck their delangalangs, and I did. And then he ignored me after that, but I still have a huge crush on him. Girl, what the fucking fuck? I'm sorry. When I was little I thought that you could get pregnant from an old man touching you. So one day I was at an amusement park and I bumped into this ancient ass man and I freaked the fuck out, LMAO. I thought I was pregnant for about a year. I even had a baby name book and everything. I literally saved up money so my baby would be happy. And then I just forgot about the pregnancy, LMAO. Literally. Chile. Anyway, thanks for the submission. When I was like 9, I had this bitch of a teacher that everyone hated. One day in class she was putting posters up on the wall and she had to stand on a table because she was like 4 feet tall, but anyway she asked for someone to hold the table so that she wouldn't fall, so I volunteered to hold the table. So the bitch went up onto that table, and 9-year-old me decided to get revenge on that bitch, so I decided to yank the table thinking that she would just wobble a bit, but the teacher deadass fell off the table and went flying. She landed on her back and hit her head, and I'm pretty sure she broke one of her cheap ass heels. So long story short, she ended up with a concussion and they called an ambulance to take that bitch away. None of my classmates told the principal on me because we all hated that bitch, so we all agreed to say that she fell off the table herself while we sang Ding Dong the Witch is Dead, but in fact she was not dead because she came back into class the next day and glared at me, but I never got in trouble for it, and to this day I still don't feel bad, lol. Okay, so I went to this really small private K-12 school in kindergarten, and one day I was eating lunch and I saw a police officer talking to my teacher. They sent us back to class and made us wait for about an hour. I was like, what the fuck? I was like 5, so I just thought we had some free time. Turns out this junior stabbed our principal 9 times in the throat and murdered her. What? Anyway, thank you for your submission. One day I went to my cousin's house for a sleepover. Her parents were divorced, so we were at her stepdad's house. We went outside and rode our bikes for like an hour, but I told her I was going to go back inside to grab some water. I walk in, but then I hear screaming upstairs, so I go up and barge into the room only to see her stepdad and some other woman doing it. I grabbed a perfume bottle and threw it at him. The perfume bottle shattered and he fell to the floor and rolled over the glass. And let's just say it was a bloody mess and he lost his left eye. But he told everyone it was him who threw the bottle so nobody would suspect he cheated. Then I told the mom and she ruined his life by exposing that he was homophobic. Haven't seen the bitch since they divorced, lol. Girl, all I have to say is thanks for your submission. Okay, so at the start of the school year, it was almost the end of the day and we were in chorus class, which was last period. Suddenly we started getting announcements on the speakers telling people who take buses to school not to go outside. We were a little concerned because what the fuck. Then the teacher read an email and was clearly trying to distract the class from something. And let me just say that she should stick to singing, which she wasn't even good at except acting, because her distractions made us worry more. More announcements came on and we wanted to text our parents, but the ugly ass bitch kept saying no. Because I didn't give a shit, I still texted my mom and she was driving and trying to text me at the same time. Don't at her, was just as worried. Eventually I started to cry like a little bitch, but my friend comforted me. The teacher told me to get some water, but I kept saying no, but she forced me to, like, bitch, I don't need a bubbler, I need a therapist anyways. My mom called and the teacher wanted to talk to my mom and I DK what she said, but it made the teacher let me leave and go to the front door where dozens of kids were. My old 7th grade teacher helped me out and got me out of the school sooner, and I ran to my mom's car because I wasn't trying to get shot, bitch. Eventually we found out that there was a fucking shooter at a house near the bus lane at the school, which is why students couldn't leave. During that lockdown, some of the kids in my class were dialing the police because we could hear a really loud commotion outside, and to be honest, it was really scary. As you could guess, the bitch-ass teacher opened up the door again and just wandered out to see what happened. She disappeared as she went right inside the school. She didn't even have the audacity to close the door for us. She left everything open. In the end we found out that one of the guy students bashed the living shit out of his girlfriend and he got expelled. They also found a knife in his backpack and he was almost about to use it on his girlfriend. The teachers and police separated them and none of us heard about what happened. One time in 7th grade my stomach hurt really bad and I thought it was because I was hungry, so 5th period came around and it was lunchtime, so I tried to eat but my stomach still hurt and I felt like I needed to poo, so I went to the bathroom with my friends and the poo was about to come out but I pretended to pee so my friends wouldn't make fun of me for taking a shit. Then I went to 6th period, which was Spanish, and we were working on a project until I felt something come out and it was my shit and it just fell out of my anus and the whole room smelled like nasty shit, so I asked the teacher if I could go to the bathroom and she said yes, so I went to the bathroom and diarrhea poop was all over my underwear and I tried to scoop my shit out from my underwear into the toilet but I smelled like doo-doo, so I came out and got a bunch of towels with soap and tried to take the smell out but it didn't work, so I went back to the class and my stomach still hurt, so I asked the teacher if I can go to the nurse, and while I was walking out my friend was like, "What's wrong?" and I said my stomach hurts and I ran out that classroom so fast. I got to the nurse and I told her my stomach hurt, so she told me to call my mom but she was getting ready for work, so I called my dad who was sleeping and I told him to pick me up but he just told my mom to pick me up. Then my friend came in, the nurse, and she hugged me and told me I smelled like food when it was really my rat-infested roach-looking diarrhea shit. When I was in 5th grade I had a teacher who was always rude and one day I tried to hug her and she pushed me off of her. I told my mom and she wrote the teacher a letter say if she ever pushed me again my mom should beat her ass. She took me to the office and me, her and the principal had a talk. I then went home and did some witchcraft shit and now the bitch has cancer. She shouldn't have fucking pushed me. Oh my god girl, what the freak. Okay, so one day me and my friend decided to go play at the park. We saw some boys there and they were really cute, mind you we were like 12. We were playing on the swings and the boys that were there came over to us and asked us if we wanted to play hide and go seek, so us being the bad bitches we were, we said yes. Me and my friend were hiding and we heard some girls screaming. We looked up and saw two girls fussing at the boys we were playing with. Apparently they were dating these boys and got found that they were playing with us and thought they were cheating on them. So us being the messy 12-year-olds we told them to shut the fuck up, we were just playing. The girl's mom pulled and told them to get in the car. They got in the car and we got the boys' snaps and snatched those bitches. When I was in 4th grade my neighbor who was a girl asked me to play bar, so I said yes, mind you she was a 6th grader. She told me she would be the guy and I was the girl. We sat there acting like we were playing bar. Then when my mom left for work she told me to get naked, so I did. She ate me out and fingered me. I still see her everywhere. Girl, what in the fucking name of Skittles is this shit?